Welcome to the Iron Fist Boxing Brotherhood. I am your host, Cortez, and invite you to sub and come check out our Facebook and Instagram pages.
Let's get ready to rumble!
What if I were to tell you that there's a 6'9" undefeated heavyweight champion weighing 280 pounds? What if I were to tell you that at birth this same champion weighed less than 2 pounds and that doctors predicted that he wouldn't make it through the night? What if I were to tell you that his father at the hospital boldly put his 2-pound son on the palm of his hand and professed that his son would live throughout the night and that he would be 7 foot tall, 280 pounds, and he would name his son after the great Mike Tyson and be the next heavyweight champion of the world? Welcome to the Mentality of the Warrior boxing series. Today we'll be discussing the life of the Gypsy King and the current heavyweight champion of the world, Tyson Fury. Tyson Fury was born as a premature baby. He weighed less than 2 pounds and he literally was fighting for his life when he came to this earth. His father, John, was a part of the Gypsy community, which often settled their disputes with bare-knuckle brawling matches. This group is known for their transient ways and violent traditions. When one member of the Gypsy community had an issue or dispute with another member, they wouldn't call upon authorities or agencies. They would simply challenge their rival to a one-on-one bare-knuckle boxing match. These matches were very, very brutal, unsanctioned. It was pretty much showing one man his dominance over the other by pure will. You could either end the fight by knocking out your opponent or your opponent quitting. Since Gypsy men were so proud, traditionally, it was very hard for them to give up. They would often fight with broken hands, teeth would be coming out, bleeding from every part of their face. This was their tradition, this was their way of life. John Fury, Tyson Fury's father, received the title of Gypsy King. What a Gypsy King is, that's a very sacred title to the Gypsy community, only given to the community's best fighter. Tyson Fury came from a very special, unique bloodline. Over 20 generations of Gypsy fighters, in which his father was a Gypsy King, and on his mother's side, her father was a Gypsy King. You could say that Tyson Fury was destined for greatness, that he was bred and born to become a champion. Okay, so check this out. At 10 years old, Tyson Fury was so focused and determined on his goals that he dropped out of school. And to fulfill the prophecy that his father said, when he was 14 years old, he was 6'6". 6'6", 210 pounds. The guy was a beast. His father, John Fury, said, "I first knew I had something special in my son when I invited him to spar and he broke my ribs." He said, "Me being the Gypsy King, I've been through wars and battles and I never had that happen and my own son broke my ribs." John Fury had a really special bond with his son. He was his trainer, he was his counselor, he was his confidant, he was his mentor. But the thing that really hurt John was when he challenged another man and they got into a fight, Gypsy style, bare knuckle, savage style, and John gouged out the guy's eye. He totally took his eyeball out. And because of this, John got 11 years in prison. But before he went to prison, he asked his brother to train his son Tyson so he could continue with his boxing career. As a young man, Tyson had a lot of success. At 22, he fought Derek Chisora, who was undefeated at the time, and beat him. So that was pretty much the first step-up fight for Tyson. After that, he had many successful conquests until he was in the position to fight the great Wladimir Klitschko. So you have to understand, Fury at the age of 26 was given an opportunity of a lifetime to beat his idol, Wladimir Klitschko. When Fury was 22 years old, he told Wladimir to his face, "I'm going to be the man to defeat you. You have fought the Americans, you have fought the Mexicans, you have fought the Russians, you have fought the Europeans, but you have never fought the Gypsy King." The time was here, the time was now. Fury was given every opportunity to showcase his skills in front of the entire world. Wladimir Klitschko, he was no ordinary foe. He was 6'6", 240 pounds of lean muscle. He was a stoic professional that delighted in training, discipline, and simply dismantling his opponents. He had 2 heavy sledgehammers of fist that if they were to hit you, it would be lights out. He had an extraordinary record of 63 wins and 3 losses, and he hadn't lost in 11 years. The fight would be set in Germany in front of 50,000 screaming German fans, all going for Klitschko, their hero. Interestingly though, Fury had a few tricks up his sleeves. The art of war principles appear weak when you are strong and strong when you are weak he employed against his rival. At a press conference, he dressed up as Batman and he hired a Joker to come and disrupt the press conference. Then Fury, dressed up as Batman, went to go wrestle the Joker right in front of Wladimir Klitschko, knocking over all his belts and making a clown of himself. Klitschko, being a very stoic professional, must have thought, there's no way that this guy, this clown, this guy that's not disciplined or professional will beat me. So I imagine he kind of let his guard down just a little bit. Fury was 6'8", 6'9", 270 to 80 pounds. He was bigger and faster and even more athletic than Klitschko. The night of the fight, Fury showed his athletic skills, his speed, his defense, his movement, and totally outclassed and outworked the great Wladimir Klitschko to take his belts and become the new heavyweight champion of the world. So you could only imagine how this young man felt. He's 26 years old. At birth, he weighed less than 2 pounds. His father named him after Mike Tyson. His father prophesied that he would not only survive, but become the new heavyweight world champion. This was a historic moment in Tyson Fury's life. He was a pride of the Gypsy community, and greatest of all, he beat his idol to attain the belt. You would think after accomplishing all of this that Tyson Fury's life would just be marvelous, but it wasn't. Soon after he beat Klitschko, he said, after I beat him, I had no motivation, I had nothing else to accomplish. That was the only thing that he wanted, and nothing else mattered after that. He soon fell into a slippery slope of depression, drug addiction, and alcoholism. He was stripped of all his belts. He ballooned up to 400 pounds within a 2.5-year period. His life became ensnared with alcohol and drug addiction. He said in his own words, nothing really mattered. I didn't care about my family. I didn't care about my friends. I didn't care about boxing. Nothing mattered. I was going down, and I really didn't know how to stop it, nor did I want to stop it. So within 2.5 years, Tyson Fury went from beating the unbeatable Wladimir Klitschko to gaining 400 pounds, abusing alcohol, abusing drugs, abusing his body in just that short time, and he weighed 400 pounds. He gained 160 pounds within that time. Fury said that he was so depressed that he was tired of all the pain, he was tired of all the depression, that he just wanted to end himself. That he bought a 2016 Ferrari. Then he got into it going down the highway. Then he saw a bridge and he knew exactly what he wanted to do. He wanted everything to end. So he said he was going 190 miles an hour straight for the bridge. Then he heard a voice. Tyson Fury said, quote, the voice said, no, don't do this, Tyson. Think about your kids. Think about your family. Your boys will grow up without a father. Everyone will say that your dad was a weak man, that he left you, that he needed to take the easy way out because he couldn't fight. After he heard that voice, he said he slammed on the brakes, he pulled over, and he began to cry. He said for the first time in years, he knew that he was going to change his life, that he would be world heavyweight champion again. And you may ask, why is he putting Tyson Fury in the Warrior Mentality series when he had so many issues of drug addiction, of depression, of alcoholism, of suicide? Why is he in here? But I think very truthfully that we all have our struggles. We all go through certain things that we feel that we can't overcome, but we need help. Tyson Fury, he realized that he had a problem. He took the necessary steps to work towards conquering his demons. He found the leading psychologist. He sobered up from alcoholism. He stopped taking drugs. Then he started his journey back to getting in shape. This is what makes Tyson Fury the Gypsy King. He was 400 pounds, 400 jelly Swedish roll pounds, and he was trying to make a comeback to become the world heavyweight champion. He would have to lose 160 pounds just to be in shape again. He would have to cleanse his body of all the alcohol, all the drugs, and all the bad food he said that he was putting into his body. But most importantly, Tyson Fury said he had to cleanse his mind to regain the path once again. Being all these things, Tyson Fury said his mentality was strong enough that he knew he could do it. And in order to commit himself to do this, he challenged Deontay Wilder. Just like Klitschko, Deontay Wilder was 40-0. He was undefeated. He was in his prime. He was 6'7", 220 pounds. His nickname was the Bronze Bomber because he had a 95% knockout rate. He knocked out 39 of 40 opponents. And Fury said, I picked Wilder because I knew that I would have to hold myself accountable and do the things I said I was going to do in order that I could beat him. And to be completely honest with you, when I heard that Fury was going to fight Klitschko, I thought Klitschko was going to knock him out. Then after Fury won, I said, wow, impressive. Then after Fury went through his struggles, then he said he was going to challenge Wilder. In my mind, I said, man, props to Fury, but he's going to get knocked out, man, poor guy. He's going to end him. His father even was interviewed, and the experts were saying, John, we know that Tyson's your son, but he's going to lose. He's going to get knocked out. Then John Fury said, I've known the lad since he was wee tall. I know what he's capable of, and if I'm wrong, I will be the first person to admit it. But I know in my hearts of hearts that my son will beat him, that he was going to knock him out. Then even when I heard that, I was like, oh man. Well, like father, like son, right? But to my amazement, Wilder and Tyson Fury fought 2 times. The first fight was a controversial draw, which many thought that Fury had outboxed Wilder. In the second fight, Fury promised that he would knock out Wilder. And Fury wasn't known for being a knockout artist and having a 95% knockout rate like Wilder did. But he said he was going to knock Wilder out. And he came through with his word, did the impossible, shocked the world, and became the new heavyweight champion once again. So this man, his life journey, he weighed less than 2 pounds. His father said he would be world heavyweight champion. He would be big and strong. Then after that, he dropped out of school when he was 10 years old. He trained, he focused hard, he rose up the ranks. He fought his idol, Wladimir Klitschko, who hadn't lost in 11 years. He beat Wladimir. Then after that, he challenged the next baddest man on the planet, Wilder, who had a 95% knockout rate. He knocked Wilder out in the second fight. He lost all that weight. He regained his title and he regained his glory. He fulfilled once again the promise that his father made. And not to mention this, Fury donated all the money from his first fight to a mental health research charity. He donated all of his money to that charity, and not a lot of people know that, nor does Fury like to talk about that. I think Fury is an excellent example that you could set a goal, you could accomplish your goal, you could hit rock bottom when everything is not going your way. Then with faith and hope and with the right help, you could overcome obstacles and challenges to work your way back up into life again. Tyson Fury, the Gypsy King, in my eyes and millions of others, has earned his right to be called the King of Boxing. I really hope that you enjoyed this podcast. I invite you to subscribe to the channel, check out our Facebook group, and join our Instagram page. And until next time.